Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're watching this. As always, thanks for watching Common Sense Talks. Welcome to the channel. Please smash that subscribe and like. Here at Common Sense Talks, we cover all kinds of different topics: news, opinion, music, comics, sports, all kinds of stuff. I have another channel, Common Sense Fishing. Go check that out if you'd like. Today's video is going to be about the viral song Let's Go Brandon, the meme behind it, the story behind it, in case you didn't know and you've been under a rock or just don't know what it means. We're going to talk about the Great Reset, but I've also got a crazy story to share with you. A white man was awarded $10 million for being discriminated against and being fired. And we'll get more into that story in a bit. So we're going to talk about a couple things tonight. Just a quick live stream. So smash that like and subscribe button again. Beautiful people, thank you for joining. And again, if you're new here, please smash the subscribe and like. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for watching. Now let's get into today's show. So first story we're going to lead off with and talk about is a white man that was fired from the hospital in a diversity initiative. And when he was fired, they hired a black woman and a white woman. After he was fired, multiple white men in his job place, in his workplace, were fired and let go within so many months of his termination. Every single one of the white men fired were replaced by either someone of color or a woman. And he sued for $10 million or whatever it was he sued for and was awarded $10 million. So a little bit of good news here. Racism is racism. I don't like it being called reverse racism, reverse discrimination. Discrimination is discrimination. Racism is racism. Has nothing to do with power or position. It's just simply a bigoted, angry, mean thing to do and be. And it can affect anyone and everyone, and anyone can be racist. So let's get into this here. So I'm going to read the story, and then we're going to jump into the next one. I've got 3 for you guys tonight, so thanks for watching again. Now, if this one didn't catch you by surprise, I know I was caught by surprise. I didn't expect to see this. I think the scales are tipping, and people are getting kind of sick of the woke, progressive agenda, waking up to the brainwashing and the craziness that's going on. But let's just get back to this here. So a white senior hospital executive who lost his job in a push to diversify its leadership team has won a $10 million lawsuit, with a federal jury agreeing that his employers fired him based on his race. In a 2019 lawsuit, David Duval claimed that Novant Health violated his civil rights when the company fired him a year earlier and replaced him with 2 women, one black and one white. Duval, who had worked for the firm in North Carolina for nearly 5 years, was abruptly fired amid a company-wide push to diversify top leadership positions, according to reports at the time. He argued that he was fired for no other reason than his race, and a federal jury sided with him on Wednesday, Associated Press reported. The jury held that Novant Health violated Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, which prohibits race and gender-based discrimination in the workplace, and awarded Duval $10 million. The verdict was celebrated online by conservatives and independents who have long felt that diversity initiatives are used to unfairly root out white males out of jobs. Some companies have openly stated that this is their goal, and a 2016 Harvard study found that the presence of corporate diversity policies signal to white men that they might be undervalued and discriminated against, while doing little to reassure minorities that they will be treated more fairly than at a company without such policies. Duvall's complaint stated that he wasn't the only white person. So this is one really important part here. So let's check this out. Fired during Novant Health's diversity drive. The company's chief legal officer, medical group president, chief information officer, patient experience officer, and president of Haymarket Medical Center were all replaced by either a black person or a woman in the 18 months after Duvall was let go. Novant argued that Duvall was fired due to deficient performance, and the company told the Mail that this verdict would not change Novant Health's steadfast commitment to diversity, inclusion, and equity for all. So that about sums the story up. There's a couple of sites that have a little bit more information that you can check out, and you can actually find a lot more about this. I mean, not too much, but like I said, there's a couple sites out there that have a little bit more in depth to the story. But this has all the meat and potatoes that we need. White man worked at a job for 5 years. He was about to get a pay raise, and during this whole hubbub about diversity and inclusion was fired, in which 2 women were hired to take his place. And when he was fired, according to the other sites that I read, they even admit that it had nothing to do with his behavior, his performance, or anything at first when he was fired. They even told him in emails and stuff. So he has all this proof, which is why I'm assuming he won. And then once he sues them, they're like, no, we didn't fire him for race. We fired him because he wasn't performing correctly. So, but after he was fired, within 18 months, like 5 or 6 high-level white male employees were let go and rehired black or female employees to take their place. So he had a pretty cut and dry case of discrimination and racism and all that against him, and he won $10 million. So let's hope he enjoys it. Hope he has a great time with it. Hope he doesn't splurge it like the case of the lottery curse. I hope this guy does really good with it. So kudos to him. I think we need more people to stand up and do this stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on to the next one. We're going to finish with Let's Go Brandon, saving the best for last. But this story is arguably one of the most sinister stories that it can encompass all kinds of different facts and stories and things going on. This is a really big umbrella, and it's called the Great Reset. I don't know if you've heard about it, but the Great Reset is something that has been spoken and talked about by very rich, powerful people like the Davos Group. It's been touted by people like Bill Gates and many others. And the very basic principle of the Great Reset is basically that you will own nothing and you will be happy. Basically socialism / communism. And they're going to take away private property rights. We're not going to own anything. They even say we're going to eat bugs, and that we're going to be happy. That they're going to, it's like programming, basically. The Great Reset is they want to do away with what we know of as today's capitalism. And even, capitalism, there's a lot of bad things as well, like crony capitalism. And stuff like that, where you can have a lot of tyranny and bad stuff. But they want to completely do away with the financial system that we have right now, do away with the hierarchy, the structure, just everything that we know of as existence. They want to completely reset it and wipe it all out and start over and fresh with like this crazy mindset of living. And it also includes population control. Think about that. It includes all kinds of things that basically the Earth's dying and that you will all be miserable and you will all live like cattle and sheep and you will enjoy it because it's what's good for you. I'm assuming not everyone's going to live like this, but we the people will own nothing and be happy, or so their words say. So let's go ahead and see if we can click on the Great Reset. And let's see what they say. The pause during lockdown created by the pandemic resulted in a 7% decrease in global emissions. All right. The UN states that we need a decrease of 7.6 every year until 2030 to avoid climate and ecological disaster. This means we need to maintain the same decrease every year as if we were living in lockdown. The challenge is that as we emerge from the pandemic, the pressure to go back to business as usual will intensify, but people don't want to go back. Only 23% of the UK public believes following lockdown advertising should encourage people to consume, shop, and fly like before lockdown. 77% believe it is the industry's responsibility to encourage people to behave more sustainably like during lockdown. Right now, we have a small window of opportunity to reset and shape the future we want. What is the Great Reset? The Great Reset is a creative industry movement to embed the positive environmental shifts that have happened during lockdowns as the new normal. Our industry has power and influence, but we need lots of people to choose to use it. We must grab this opportunity to help shape a society that puts mankind and our planet's need first. To do this, we need to reset ourselves to become agents of change, not just passive receivers of briefs. Reset our work so that we promote sustainable values, attitudes, and behaviors, and reset our impact by reevaluating what we must measure and celebrate as success. What's happened so far? In 2020, over 700 people and agencies led by the Purpose Disruptors collaborated to create a white paper, a launch film, and this website. Over 7 months, momentum built as hundreds of people attended Zoom gatherings and 200 influential people pledged support. A creative competition was launched that attracted 160 entries. Yada yada. Let's keep reading if we can find. So I believe they took it off the website, but let's see if we can find it, folks. Let's see if we can find the Great Reset. You will own nothing and be happy. The Great Reset is a global agenda spearheaded by the World Economic Forum that can be summed up in one sentence. You will own nothing and be happy. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy is just one of their marketing slogans. The plan involves replacing shareholders of big companies with stakeholders who happen to be left-wing bureaucrats and climate change zealots. So basically, the Great Reset is they want to, by 2030, have us own nothing and that we'll be happy. They want us to live a sustainable, better life where we don't destroy Mother Nature. Doesn't it sound good when they put it their way? What they really mean is that we're all going to lock down, stay locked down, that we can't be driving our gas guzzling cars, we can't be doing any kinds of stuff, down with the farting cows, no more eating meat, that we all are too fat and rich and lazy, and Americans will own nothing and be happy. And so will the whole world, because the Great Reset involves literally changing the world's financial structure, because the entire world trades via the dollar. So if we mess with the American economy and with the dollar, with all of that, it's going to have big impacts. Now, do I support the Federal Reserve and all that? That's a whole different, subject, a whole different video for a whole different time. Stuff like the Federal Reserve changing the gold standard and the silver standard, our money not being backed by anything, and then supposedly being called the petrodollar, so that our dollar is backed by the cost and goods of oil. produced, and that our country, Joe Biden, approved Russia's, I think it's Nord Stream or something like that, pipeline, yet denied the Keystone pipeline. Let that sink in for a minute. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. I gotta go get something. Sorry. All right, folks. I'm back. Sorry about that. So, anyways, the Great Reset is all bad. It sounds good. The ideas and principles sound good, but they really are looking at destroying millions upon millions of people's lives, livelihoods, and their Great Reset does require population control in a sense. So look it up if you want to know more about it. It's just crazy. But let's get into today's video. Let's talk about Let's Go Brandon. So, what does Let's Go Brandon mean? Where does it come from? What does the meme mean? And what are the songs that are taking the country by storm? So, I can't play them because I don't want to get busted, but we're going to show you the Let's Go Brandon stuff right now and where we're at with it. All right. So, let's see if we can do this. Billboard top 100. Let's see here. It's not showing up here, but I heard it was on the number one. That's on the billboard, so let's see here. Let's search Let's Go Brandon. Let's see what we can find. We'll read the news about it and we'll explain the meme. Boy, are they trying to really make this hard to find, aren't it? Yeah, they don't want you finding it right on their own site. So now you guys just witnessed, I couldn't even find Let's Go Brandon on the billboard trending or top 140 or 100. I couldn't. Let's see if we can. So number one in breaking, like, brand new artist is definitely Let's Go Brandon song by Loza Alexander, I believe, right? But I can't find it. So now let's see what the news is saying about it though. Let's Go Brandon tops charts. And let's check it out. So Let's Go Brandon song tops the iTunes chart. Another Let's Go Brandon rap topples Apple Music charts. So I think if I remember correctly, there are 4 Let's Go Brandon songs in the top 10 positions right now. I think it's Let's Go Brandon, the new one. Then you've got with Let's Go, with the Loza Alexander. Then you've got his remix, or the one with Bryson Gray, I think, in it. And whatever. I apologize. I forget his name. But Bryson. Um, Dude right here, I believe, right? Yeah. Beats out Adele. So Let's Go Brandon song beats out Adele for top spot, right? And if you're not, yeah, Bryson Gray. So if you're not aware of what the Let's Go Brandon thing is, what does it mean? What is it? Well, basically, um, F Joe Biden chants have been popping up all over the place. And they've been showing up at sports events and all kinds of big events. And the crowd would chant F Joe Biden, F Joe Biden, right? So they're at a racing event and they're screaming it, F Joe Biden. And the guy that won the event, his name was Brandon. And so the reporter, being an obvious left wing shill, is like, oh, you hear all the chanting? They're cheering for you. They're saying, let's go, Brandon. And he's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, they're obviously saying F Joe Biden. And the news reporter says, let's go, Brandon. So, out of that obvious hypocrisy, obvious shilling, they have taken something and did something genius with it and made a viral moment, a song that to the nation. See, to walk around and just scream F Joe Biden or to say F Joe Biden, people might feel the same sentiment, but it doesn't have that same flair and kick to it. It's not special. It's not like everybody knows what you're saying. When you walk around saying, let's go, Brandon, it's like the people in the know, they know what's up. Like, yeah. And if the people that also know don't like it, it's like, yeah, you're telling them. And then for the people that don't know, for the three people on earth right now are Americans who don't know what let's go, Brandon means, they're like, what? What the heck is let's go, Brandon? So it's just an awesome way to get the topic talked about, really catchy songs, and echoes my sentiments exactly. Let's go, Brandon. So, with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Just wanted to drop in for a quick minute. Smash that subscribe and like, and we'll be on constantly on this channel, dropping videos.